Look at that nice shirt. Is that from the company? Anyway, welcome on in, everybody. Giants hold on 6-4 tonight. Trevor McDonald looking good on the mound. Casey Schmitt, 4 hits, 2 home runs. What did he have? 4 RBIs tonight? I think so. And Giants get the middle game, and can they get the series win tomorrow? We'll see. Casey will probably be on the bench because he hit a couple of homers. Time to put him on the bench tomorrow, Dallas. All right, everybody, welcome on in. Welcome into the show, and good to have you. Giants get a much needed victory, 6-4. I was having fun during the game, tweeting with somebody who tried to tell me that Matt Chapman is better than Casey Schmitt. And I'm like, okay, what world is that in? He says, well, he's just hot right now. Chapman is the better player. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Yeah, Chapman may be the better defender, not by much, but he's not even close as a hitter. Chapman's 33. Casey's 27. There, you could see the difference. But anyway, Dallas, what was your take on everything tonight?
My take was great game. They showed up tonight. They played well. McDonald was excellent. That guy just deals, man, and he played a great defense. He's, made a bunch of plays defensively, which was really nice to see. But the big thing to me is I kept thinking back, and I hate to relitigate yesterday's game, but it was like, why would the Giants have won yesterday's game if Casey Schmitt was batting third and not Matt Chapman? I mean, I just don't think he goes 0 for 5 yesterday, after Arise had the 4-hit game, I think maybe he knocks Arise in a couple of times, or, it could have been a completely different game. So I'm not going to harp on about it, relitigating yesterday, but it was just putting Chapman down in the order when he's not hitting just makes so much sense. And so that they play him 6th today, and Gilbert actually had a better hitting game, hitting after Chapman. Chapman does get a little bit of redemption. He had a hit and an RBI. So, and I hope that's a sign of him getting back on track. But his swing, I mean, I've heard everybody analyze it over and over about what's going on with his swing and how his bat spends very little time in the strike zone. And, he's all out of whack right now. So hopefully he's figuring things out, getting things together, because it's pretty clear they're going to keep playing him until the cows come home. So if he's going to be playing every day, he better at least hit, or otherwise it's going to be very bad for the Giants. So that was good. I was surprised a lot of things with the lineup. Eldridge did not play, and Chapman did, and I thought with going against a left-hander tomorrow, today's game might have been the day to get Eldridge in a start. So now he's also going to not start tomorrow, clearly, and so we don't see the guy. He doesn't play, and what are we doing here? So it's the same thing we talked about the last few games. I'm not going to go over that again, but it seemed odd to me. I thought maybe a way to get Eldridge in the lineup is to have Schmitt play in left field, but it was a very gusty, windy day here in Sacramento today.
It's supposed to be even windier tomorrow, right?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't look at the forecast for that, but just just in my backyard, things are getting blown over. The lawn furniture is flying everywhere. So I knew it would be a little bit more adventurous in the outfield. Now, it did cool down with the wind. I think by the 5th inning, it was almost no wind. So it settled down by the end of the game. But I understood not trying to test Schmitt in left field at that point. So, yeah, good game for the Giants. I mean, when you have somebody that's just hitting the cover off the ball, and that really helps. It's
Yeah,
and
sure
they just
does.
kind of all
Sure does.
rallied around Schmitt, and very good outing for the Giants today.
Today is I'm just looking here at the Sacramento River Cats. Today's the 16th of May.
Correct.
So I'm looking here. What is their schedule like? It looks like they come back home to Sacramento on Tuesday. I'm kind of wondering if Bryce may not take the flight to Sacramento. I mean, not to Sacramento, to Arizona after tomorrow's game. It's like, hey, why don't you just stay here? We're not playing you anyway, and just start getting some at bats this next week. I don't get it.
I think that this Ramos injury fixes the Giants' problem a little bit. I think we will see Casey in left field, and we will, have Chapman and Eldridge in the lineup. And I think that's
well. We got to make sure we get
game.
Chapman in there because we all know he's one of the best hitters in baseball. Got to make sure that we get that.
Of course, I mean, I would sit Chapman, and play the platoon of Bader and Gilbert, and I guess with Eldridge out, you could play both of them. But I think that's what we're going to see. Chapman will be in there. There's no way we can get rid of him, and we'll see Schmitt in left field, and I think that they can get by on that. And then Eldridge gets his at bats; he gets to play. So against right-handers.
Yeah, I'm just checking our deal here. What do we got? We got 104 watching. Oh, we're getting the likes up. We're at 13%. We'll get those likes up as we move along. Everybody likes to hit those later. I guess maybe they want to feel the show out first. That's okay. But
Sour Shoes says Ramos won't be missed. No offense, Dan. I think Ramos will be missed. I think he's leading the team in RBIs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, how could you say that, Sour? He's let me check the Giants stats real quick here. I will pull those up.
Defensively, he's been much improved. He's he has some bad routes to balls sometimes. Sometimes there'll be some bad decisions on the base paths, obviously, but overall, I think Ramos has had a pretty decent
RBIs. Schmitt just took over the lead with 21 after tonight. Ramos was second at 20. So Ramos was leading the team in RBIs. Bad take there, Sour Shoes. You might want to check the soles on your shoes. Maybe they need changed, or maybe you need a new pair. Not a good take.
Or sweeten those things up a little bit. They don't have to be sour all the time.
Yeah, they don't have to be sour, yeah. Ramos was, RBIs. And if we want to look at batting average, it's 318. Arise, 293. Schmitt, Ramos, 267. He was basically your third best hitter on the team. And, you can't go wrong there.
Johnny, how can you not be happy? Your buddy Adames had 3 hits tonight, 2 RBIs. Heck of a night for Adames, and you're still not happy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. He's coming around. I'm not happy because we're 3-3 on this road trip and not gaining anything.
Yeah, you want to gain something, but tomorrow you can finish out the road trip on a winning note. So why don't you just shoot for that?
You could. There's still 4 games left on the trip. So they're 3-3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They still
since they've
so
played.
there's still time left to win.
Yeah. Let's see.
Dan, you scared the crap out of my dog after your rant last night. My dog is now afraid to sit near me when I'm watching the show.
Sorry,
Wow.
Scrapper. Oh, geez. I'll be calm tonight.
He'll be a little more mellow tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway,
I'm not sure why we're on Ramos right now. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So it's going to be they're going to have to get by without him. And I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Bryce Eldridge, and they can. And
I don't know if it is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised that it's what we saw tonight: Gilbert, Bader, and I think you're going to see a lot of what we saw tonight: Gilbert, Bader, and Lee. It's your best defensive outfield, and I think what Tony said the other night. Eldridge is mostly going to be a pinch hitter. I don't think they're going to use it. Look, they signed.
Why would they do that? If that guy gets going and it clicks for him, it's a completely different team.
Of course it is. He has the ability to change the trajectory of the whole team, but they're not a bright team. They're not a run. They're just not a smartly run franchise. It has no vision. It has no plan. It just does everything by the seat of its pants. It's from day to day. I'm telling you, this thing is a day-to-day operation. They don't have a long-term plan. Like, okay, this is our plan. We're gonna get Eldridge his at-bats, and we're just going to, that was what they said when they brought him up. He's here to play, right? Well, what changed? I don't know. I don't know.
Shoes. You don't bring up your best prospect to pinch hit. Everybody knows that. I know it. Dan knows it. Sour Shoes knows it. The Giants know it. When they brought him up, they said, yeah, he's here to play. And then they don't play him. It's very confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to see him shake off a 4-strikeout game. Exactly. You give him – that's why I said last night, he's used to the park. Play him in this park.
Did they play him tomorrow against the lefty?
I would think so. If they bench Casey tomorrow –
they will bench Casey.
Yeah. Oh, Eldridge?
If they do, it's going to be
Casey. If they bench Casey tomorrow, I think Tony would probably be run out of town. I'd be driving it too. We're obviously being a little facetious here, E. Miller. We know Casey's going to play tomorrow, but you never know with the way this club does things. I mean, Haas hits 2 homers and he sits. Let's cool him off. Let's cool off Haas for a while. The other thing is, what are we going to do with this team? Are we going to rotate? Is this going to be rotating catchers? When you do that, you know what you get? If you rotate 3 catchers, you're literally going to get the worst of all 3 of them.
I know. It doesn't make sense. Jesus Rodriguez, I think he needs to go down. I like him. But he really shouldn't be playing over Susak.
No, Susak should be your number 1 guy.
Susak should play almost every day, and then you have Haas to play too.
Exactly, and Haas is a good backup. That's a good tandem.
Come in for defensive replacement late in games, and he can, when he plays 1 day a week, he can hit a little bit.
Yeah. You just play Susak and Haas. I don't care if here's what I would do. Susak is young. This is what the Giants screw up all the time. Play Susak 2 out of every 3 games in a series and let Haas play the other. And keeps them both fresh. And, you're going to get 66 out of 100 games from from Susac, 34 games from Haas, and you develop Susac. But this got to get Rodriguez bat in there. He had a good game in the homestand, 1 or 2 games. He hasn't done anything on this road trip, has he? What is Rodriguez in his last? Is he like 0 for 12?
Yeah, I think so. He's down to 214. I don't think he's had a hit in his last 3 games.
He's not up there smoking the ball. Look, Rodriguez is a AAA player right now. Can he come up and fill in? Yeah, but don't make him you don't need him on your roster. You really don't.
Also, he's here to be a pinch hitter, I guess. And it is good that he makes contact. Like, he didn't strike out tonight. He went 0 for 4, right, but he put the ball in play. It is good that he puts the ball in play, and he's flexible about where he can play infield, outfield, catcher. So you like him, but
I think they like the idea.
He's
of
young
3
and
catchers.
inexperienced, and probably hasn't done a lot of pinch hitting in the past either.
Yeah, and I think they like the idea of 3 catchers because both of Haas can play outfield, and so can Rodriguez. The other thing about Rodriguez is he's a guy that ceiling is, I don't think it's as high as some people think it might be. I think Rodriguez is a guy that could be a good big league hitter, but I don't think he's going to be no star. So as far as developing him, like, they got to get Eldridge needs his at bats. Rodriguez, he's like, he's probably going to be, a utility type guy. And so is he going to be anything super, super special? Maybe. He's been a 300 hitter all of his career, but he looks to me like a guy that can wake up and hit because he's just a natural hitter. So a guy like him can afford to be on the bench here and there. But maybe the best spot for Rodriguez right now is just playing him every day in AAA until.
I think so, because I think he is a defensive liability at catcher and in the outfield. And I haven't even seen him play the infield. So I don't know. I think he needs more time to hone those skills, because right now you don't want to play him in the outfield because he made that mistake, and he can't throw anybody out at catcher. And I'm surprised that no one has decided to we're going to run every time, and take that route. The only good thing about having 3 catchers is that, say you start Rodriguez tonight, you could pinch hit Susac for one of the for Bader or for Gilbert, and then not have to worry about losing your backup catcher. You still have Haas sit on the bench, in case Rodriguez gets dinged up or whatever. So it does free up those other batters to be pinch hitters. You could have Rodriguez on the bench, and then you could bring in Haas as a pinch hitter in some situation where you need a home run to tie the game or whatever. And then if Eldridge is playing, otherwise he would be that guy.
I got a crazy lineup for you for tomorrow.
All right.
Well,
catchers can't be pinch hitters normally if you're only carrying 2 catchers.
Yeah.
And if you have 3, then it frees it up.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because of the wind, they're probably not going to put an inexperienced outfielder out there like Casey or Rodriguez. But I was thinking they could go right-handed bats tomorrow if they wanted to go Bader in center. And who's pitching? Is it Springs tomorrow for the A's? I think it's Springs. But they could go. Yeah, Springs. They could go. But they're not going to do that. I just changed my mind. They're not going to stick Rodriguez and Schmitt in the outfield. That would be a disaster. So I think they are going to go. They really don't have, now that Ramos is down. In fact, who is their?
They brought Brennan back.
Yeah, but now you can throw a lot of lefties against the Giants at this point, and you force them to. They don't have but one right-handed outfield bat, true outfielder, and that's Bader. So they don't have anybody that plays the outfield that's actually an outfielder that's right-handed other than Bader. So, and then you got Devers and Arise, which, no big deal with those guys, but you could throw a lefty at them and they don't have enough right-handed bats unless you want to stick Casey and Rodriguez in the outfield, which you wouldn't do. You wouldn't put two of them on the corners because that's like,
but you could put Bader and Schmidt and then Lee.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll see in those situations. I think that's what we'll see tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a right-hander besides Bader in the outfield, whether it's Schmidt or whether it's one of the catchers. You could see a Haas or a Rodriguez out there, and then you still got Susac that can catch. So, I kind of like Father of Man 25, Casey at third, Chapman in the Mexican League. I kind of like that. I just don't know, Dallas, what they're really going to do going forward with this, because Ramos is a big hole to fill right now. It's a lot bigger than it looks. You think, oh, Elliot Ramos. Well, I would think Casey's first left field is going to be Monday night. It's in a controlled environment. It's a dome. There's going to be no wind. And he might play 3 games, depending on the pitching matchups. He might play 3 games in left field in Arizona, and get his at bat, get Eldridge in there, and that would be probably.
I would do that.
The thing to do.
I would make it a set lineup and just play the same all 3 games, especially if you can win the first one. Then you feel good running the same thing out there.
I'm just going to look at the pitching matchups ahead for Monday. Giants, it's going to be Robbie Ray, Zach Gallen. Okay, so there's a good matchup for Eldridge. On Tuesday, it's going to be Landon Roop against Ryan Nilsson. That's another right-handed pitcher, so that's Eldridge. And then Wednesday's a day game. They're going to be facing Merrill Kelly, 3 righties. All right,
yeah.
There's your chance
Father
to get
man,
Eldridge.
Casey should be at third base, but they're not going to sit Chapman. They're just not going to. It's not going to happen. So we have to find another way to make this work so that Casey isn't sitting half the games, because that's what was happening before.
Right. I mean, I think we can see
and
the
Eldridge,
Giants.
It was either Eldridge or Casey sitting. Those guys need to be playing. So
Gregory, look, we all know going to Wednesday's game, Gravy says, all right, I may go Monday. I got to find out tomorrow. I think I'm going to try and go Monday. Look, we all know Chapman should be sitting and that Casey should be playing third. We can talk about it, but that's not happening. The Giants it might happen once every couple of weeks, but it's not going to happen on a regular basis. They're not sitting Chapman. They are going to play.
He's not sitting tomorrow because he got a hit today.
Yeah, they're not going to sit Chapman. He's going to force his way, whether it's with his mouth or his play. He's going to force his way onto the field, and whether Bob Melvin's here or Tony Vitello, I don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. I think if we could say Vitello is backing down to Chapman. Well, Bob Melvin would do the same thing. Bob Melvin would not be sitting Matt Chapman.
But he comes in, he goes in there and says, hey, Rafi Devers didn't hit for a whole month. Adames didn't hit. You gave them unlimited time to get out of it. Now you got to do the same thing for me. If I'm on the bench, I'm never going to get fixed. I'm never going to be able to fix my swing if I'm on the bench. So the best option is to play me and let me get going. Thank you, manager Vitello.
So that's the scoop. That's what's going to be happening. I think tomorrow it's probably a similar situation to tonight's lineup with a different catcher is what I see.
Yep. Hopefully Susac. I want to see him.
I think
play.
Casey DHs. You could, if they wanted to get Casey a little spark in the field, You could see him play first base and Devers DH tomorrow. Just to give Devers off his feet for the day and give him
Maybe.
a
It depends on if he's dinged up. Like Devers had to dive and make a bunch of plays today.
Yeah,
and
I could see them
right.
playing Casey tomorrow at first base and just giving Devers the DH job tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. But they got to win. They're back to 8 under 500, right? Yeah, what are they? 19 and 27? 26? 26?
19 and 27.
27. Okay, 19 and 27. Okay, they got 4 games left on this trip. I said a 20 and 30 when they came back home. We'll see where we're at. If they win tomorrow, they get their 20th. Dallas, they are at 19 and 27. You called for 20 and 26. I think I called for. I lost my sheet of paper. The wife came in through the office, and it's Saturday. It's cleaning day. Wonderful. My notes are gone. Okay. What did I call for? I think it was 17 and 29. For some reason, my days were off, but I think I called for a 3 and 7 road trip originally. Yeah, I did, which would be 20 and 30. No. 4 and I said 20 and 30. They're at 19 and 27. 20. Yeah, 20 and 30. I'm going to stick with it. But we'll see. Hopefully they come back something like 23 and
27 if they sweep
23
win
and 27.
tomorrow and then sweep the Diamondbacks.
23 and 27. I mean, look, you never know what you're going to get in Arizona. Sometimes you get the ball flying. Sometimes Giants have had some success over the years where they've gone down there and swept 4-game series.
You never know what Giants team you're going to get, though.
It's
a different team that shows up. Sometimes they can't score they can't get a hit with runners in scoring position. They can't get the clutch hit, or sometimes they can get no hits or 2 hits or whatever.
Yeah. Phillips says things
tonight,
are looking bright.
They
got
it going. So,
here's the thing. Let's just be real about this, okay? Can we be real? Luis Severino's not a great pitcher. The Giants don't do well when they face good pitching. They can hit. I wouldn't say they feast, but they hit. Their best hitting comes off generally average.
They step up sometimes against good. Like twice against Yamamoto, they've stepped up this year.
Yeah.
They do tend to make bad pitchers look like Cy Young. Like there's times when like Severino could look like he's lights out because the Giants make him look good. So I don't know. It's just kind of a coin toss. Sometimes they can hit, and 2/3 of the time they can't.
Yeah. Sauer says the problem is if we do a fire sale, our farm is our farm strong enough to actually do a rebuild? Well, your best part of the farm is down at the lower levels, Sour Shoes. They're down at, A ball, high A. Couple guys are starting to come into double A. They really don't have anything in Sacramento that's like, oh, wow. Hey, look, we got some studs that are just, right down on the farm here. No, they don't have that. Their roster at Sacramento, by the way, the pitching, it's Wisenhunt, Tidwell. We know the names, right? And Spencer Bivens, Tristan Beck. Come on. Nothing fancy there. Tidwell and Wisenhunt have some potential. Catchers, There's nothing there. I'm not even going to even mention any of the four. Infielders, Reggie Crawford is on the injured list. What do you know? There's nobody there at the farm system. Buddy Kennedy had a decent spring, has some little bit of pop down there, but nothing big. Christian Koss is back down there. They're outfielders. It's Barracoto and McCray. Let's see, coaching staff. Anybody we can call up from there? No, I'm kidding. Let's see what I want to see what the stats look like down in Sacramento. Let's take a look at team stats. What's happening in Sacramento? Leading the team in home runs was Eldridge. Barracoto had 5. Barracoto and Kennedy and McCray each had 4. Let's take a look at batting average. It was Susak, 529 when he was down there. Artega's 385, but he's only got 13 at bats. Bryce Eldridge had 114 at bats, was hitting 333. But let's bring him up and bench him. Okay, I mean, that's quite an improvement for Eldridge. What else did Eldridge? Let's see. Let's take a look at RBIs. Barracoto 24, Basby 23, Eldridge 22, Grant McCray. Let's see what Grant McCray's hitting. Grant McCray was only hitting 218 down there. That's a problem with the 684 OPS. So we got an issue there.
Barracoto's hitting 300.
Who is?
Barracoto.
Yeah, Barracoto is hitting 301. Yeah. So, nothing really special down there except Barracoto. He's your guy that you could say, okay, let's see some Barracoto. That's about it. But he's not even on the 40-man roster. So, but there's plenty of guys that you can move off the 40-man roster to make room for Barracoto. So nothing really there. Your real talent is, like I said, it's 2 to 4 years away. It's the AA. And hopefully that I haven't checked up too much on Bo Davidson this year, but maybe he makes it up to AAA this year. You also got Jordan. What's his first name? Why am I forgetting his first name? Very talented guy. He's got a lot of tools, but he's at the lower levels too. So I think that's the problem. But the Giants, what are they playing for? We'll see. They've dug themselves a hole. I think their playoff odds, if you looked at their and it's still early, right? We've seen guys that had Giants last year, the playoff odds were really high at one point. After 100 games, they were up in the probably 70 or 80 plus range, and obviously they didn't make it. So, but their odds right now are pretty low, but there's still a lot of time to make up for that.
Today is the 16th. I'm going to need an extension on this until the end of the road trip.
Ooh.
So we have to see how we're looking in Arizona.
You asked for the extension. A little late for the extension. You even were offered it last night. I know. Dakota Jordan, thank you. There we go. Sue Langlo. Appreciate it.
I thought I'd have an answer by now about whether this team is good or not, but I need a little more time.
Yeah. I can give you a hint. I can help you. If you want to just take my clue that you don't need, I'll give you till the end of the road trip, but even if they win 3 of the next 4, I'm going to tell you that doesn't mean anything because they'll just give it all back.
It could be, but I'll feel better if they continue winning series.
What's their schedule after they this road trip? What's their homestand like? Let's take a look.
White Sox.
White Sox?
Yep.
Now that's not
And
an
they don't have to
easy
play
series as it seemed in the past. So they got the White Sox,
Diamondbacks again, and the Rocks.
White Sox. Okay, good. They got the White Sox. Good. Davis Martin will face them. He's my fantasy pitcher on both leagues I'm in, so he'll probably pitch well against the Giants. Then they got the Arizona. Then they go to Colorado, Milwaukee, Chicago. Wow. Yeah, it's
They optioned Tristan Beck back because he's not very good, and they brought back Eric Miller, who is good. So they got one of the guys back.
Do you think we have Eric Miller following us?
Is Eric Miller Miller base Eric Miller?
I think so. Is that Eric Miller? Hey, Eric, how you been, bud? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you back there.
He's Eric Miller. Now that he's off the IL and healthy, he's following us every night. Thank you, Eric.
Now that's interesting. They now have 4 lefties in the bullpen: Miller, Henches, Gage, and
Barucki.
The other Barucki. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to step.
Now, and Gage got the save tonight.
Yeah, his first career save.
He's now pitched in. He's pitched in half the Giants' games this year, half of them. He leads the Giants in appearances, 22 or something. Appearances.
Hey, do you want a guest to come join you? I have to step away for 20 minutes.
Do we have a guest?
Do you want anybody to come join you? I've got maybe 15 minutes. My son just got off work.
Throw the link out. Maybe somebody will
at Burger King. You may get the man. I'll let you deal with him.
That's fine.
SGA. All right.
Where are you, buddy?
Oh, don't throw out the mating call. It's like, okay. Hold on here. Let's do this for the link. All right, I'm going to be back in 15, 20 minutes. Anybody wants to join Dallas, go right ahead. I'll be back. Got to go pick him up. He got off work.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Chardall's in the other chat. Giant Sports Talk Live. Oh, boy. Those lucky guys. Well, maybe someday we'll have Chardall back. Johnny's here. Here's Johnny. Hey, Johnny.
Dallas, I'm just not going to be happy until this team's 500 or above. And I can't even praise Adames. He was hitting 193, Dallas. When you get to that point, you're bound to go up.
Yeah. Well, has been playing better. Adames, I mean, you got to give him credit. He's bouncing back. Chapman is still in the gutter. Adames is at least pulling his weight right now. And
they
he needs to continue to do that.
They need to pull Malley out of the rotation, leave McDonald in when Webb is back.
Yeah, I think they understand that. I think both Hauser and Malley have over a 5 or 6 ERA. You can't take McDonald out of the rotation now and put him in the bullpen or send him down. I mean, he's earned his place here. So either you'd go to a 6-man rotation for a little while until one of them, gets hurt, or you say, okay, sorry. I don't know if it's Malley or Hauser. I don't know. They're so inconsistent. Sometimes Malley is good the first 2 times through the rotation, and then the 3rd time he gets drilled badly.
Shouldn't Tony understand that and have a shorter leash with them?
He should. But that might be a reason why Malley might be good for the bullpen. You only got to face guys one time, and he's good at the first time through, no problem. So he's a guy that can give you 3 innings, that could save the bullpen too. If you have a starter that goes 6 innings and then you bring Malley in for 3, that's a day that the whole rest of the bullpen gets the day off, and that can actually help them because, believe it or not, the Giants bullpen is going to start running out of gas at some point. Vitello just rides guys. He just keeps bringing Gage in every single game. He pitches. It's like, these guys can pitch 2 games in a row. 3, that doesn't happen. But I don't know if Vitello understands that. He probably hasn't done that yet, but he pitches them 3 games out of 4 days frequently. So
Gage is not going to have anything in the second half at this rate.
Yeah, they got to do something. So that could actually be a solution. Putting Malley in the bullpen to kind of give the bullpen a rest a day, and then you can kind of, maybe just piggyback Hauser and Malley. Hauser pitches 5, and then bring in Malley for the last 4. You do something like that, or 3, and then bring in your closer. Provided they have they might have to get creative like that and kind of. And I think that might not be a bad idea, just talking it out here. I kind of like that idea because I think in smaller doses, Hauser and Malley they're okay, but they just get rocked about mid-game, about the 5th inning.
Dallas, I still think Figueroa should be the closer.
You don't think?
I think he should be.
Yeah. He's had some control issues, but I just like the guy. I like the heat, I like the fact that he gets up there, and if he can just make sure to attack guys and say, hey, here's 102, just try to hit it, if he just goes after guys and keeps it in the strike zone, he's so much better.
He kind of reminds me of Duvall a little bit. There's similarities.
Maybe. Duvall was kind of a head case, though. I don't get that impression from Figueroa.
Duvall did have a nasty slider when he developed it.
When Duvall was right, he was filthy. He really was. But when he's off, it's bad. And then the fact that he has that Tranquilo Camilo vibe where it looks like he doesn't give a shit, that doesn't play well with the fan base. When you see him and he's like, he gives up 2 home runs and then he just is like, so whatever. And that doesn't translate to the fans very well.
Dallas, Tony still doesn't know what he's doing with the lineup. He had Chapman in the 3-hole yesterday.
I know. I can't understand that. I talked about it for an hour, 2 hours last night, saying, what is going on? I couldn't believe that. And okay, to be fair, I said last night, it's possible he doubles down and does the same thing today. And at least he was smart enough to understand he effed up and he made the correction and moved him down to 6th. I don't know why not 7th, but 6th I'll take.
Chapman has literally no trade value currently. None.
Currently none.
Like, if you DFA'd him, I don't think anyone would care. But there's literally nothing you could get from Matt Chapman right now.
No, I mean,
the guy
can't
sucks.
DFA him because no one would pick him up. No one would want to trade for him, take on that contract. So it's just not an option right now. The best way for Chapman is put him down in the bottom of the order. I don't know why not 9th. If he complains about batting 9th, then you say, oh, would you rather sit on the bench? That's your other option. And then you say, oh, no, 9th is fine. I'll take 9th.
At least
that's how that conversation should go. But instead, they're like, well, we'll put him at 6th. It's like the lowest respectable position that a player can be in. So that's okay. 6th, I'd rather have him at 7th. And if he's at batting 7th, I'd rather have him 8th. But I'm not going to complain about him too much because he did not going to run tonight.
I do want him separated from Adames in the batting order because having him and Chapman back to back is just not good.
No, it's not good. And you don't want him after anybody who's going to get on base either. Like yesterday, Arise got on base 4 times, and then Chapman came up 4 times after him and did nothing. I guess it was 5 times.
Yeah, it was yesterday in the 3-hole.
Right. So that can't happen again. And we'll see how this Ramos injury, I think, does allow more playing time for Eldridge. It's going to work out that way once they have Casey playing in the outfield.
Ramos has got at least a month. A quad. Yeah.
I'm thinking 3 weeks is what I'm what I'm hearing, but they're being optimistic and saying 2 weeks, but it's going to be longer than 10 days for sure.
But
Dan is had to run to the store to get some more cigarettes, so he'll be back.
Dallas, the other thing you could do, technically, if you really want to mess around with the lineup to a point, you could flip flop Ayers and Lee sometimes if you really want to get creative in the 1 and 2 hole. But either way, those are the two guys who should be at the top of the lineup anyway.
Yeah, they should be. I like Lee leading off. I got problems with Lee when he gets on base because he can't steal. He has 0 this year. But Arise, I just love that guy. He just hits. That's all he does is hit, and he gets on base. He
plays good defense.
Great defense. I mean, he's the best second baseman in baseball right now, and he just makes every play. Like, he doesn't screw any up, but then he actually makes like really challenging plays and gets the job done. And he's really quick with his exchange on the double plays. He gets the ball out of his glove, gets the throw off really fast. So you can't, if that's Washington working with him, that guy is just a miracle worker. If that's what it attributes to, I think it's more work that he did in the off season, knowing that, hey, if I can teach myself to play a really good second base, that's going to double what I make on my next contract. I'm going to get 4 years instead of 2. I'm going to get, whatever, 15 million instead of 10 or whatever whatever it's going to be, maybe more. I think he did a great job as far as understanding what he needed to do to help himself in his career, and making that improvement. So good for Arise. Now Chapman should he doesn't have to do that because he's got the long-term deal. Right. If he hits or not, paycheck's the same. So I do think I don't know. He needs to figure things out faster.
I blame Bob Melvin for Chapman getting that contract.
Yeah, I mean that partially. I mean, when they signed him initially, I think Melvin was instrumental in Chapman coming, and his first year with the Giants, he was pretty good. I think he had a 7 WAR, but that got him the big deal, and it hasn't amounted to much since then. So it's unfortunate, but right now there's no option but to try to get him fixed as fast as possible.
I mean, I'll give the guy.
Chardal. Where is Chardal? We've been waiting for him.
Alice, I'll give.
Let's check on Dan. Nope, he's not back yet. It's all dark in Dan's office. We'll check back with Dan later to see if he reappears.
I understand Chapman's a Gold Glover. That's fine. So is Bailey. And Bailey was the hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think that the Guardians are going to find out here pretty soon the frustration that the Giants knew from Bailey. And they signed him. They said all these things like, we want him to feel comfortable here, and guys perform better when we accept them as they are, and we accept Bailey as he is, and we're not trying to change him into something he isn't. Well, you kind of need to change him a little bit because you can't have it completely offsets his defense. If he has no offense, then it's a wash. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Giants end up winning that trade, and we'll see. We'll see it come around with a draft pick, and when they get Tugboat up on the big league roster.
He actually pitched good, and I know he pitched good in Double-A in his debut. He went like 5 innings. But I saw that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think he's kind of fun. I think we're going to see him at some point. Maybe not this year, but next year.
I mean,
Father of Man. We need to just accept Susac everyday catcher. I agree with you, Father of Man. Susac should be playing every day, 3 days in a row, and then you have Haas play the 4th day. That's what I would do. And then you can use Rodriguez as a utility guy, off the bench, pinch hitting, gives you some flexibility to move guys around as needed. But I think Susak should be in there, and I would be very surprised if he's not there tomorrow. I think it's got to be Susak in the game tomorrow afternoon.
I mean, rather have Rodriguez than Haas. I mean, Haas literally has no point being on this roster right now, Dallas. What's he doing?
Haas needs to be on the roster.
Yeah, Haas needs to be. Haas doesn't need to be. That's a waste of a roster spot.
Who doesn't?
Christian Haas.
Oh, Haas they optioned him down. He's not there anymore.
Okay, well that's a good thing because he had no point of being up here.
No, but the only thing Haas does is like today when Casey Schmitt was DH. If Adames gets hurt, if he hurts his ankle sliding into a base, or if he takes a liner off the dome, who knows what happens? But if Adames has to come out of the game, then you don't have anybody to play shortstop. Schmitt has to, and you lose your DH. So they play with fire a little bit without having another backup infielder that can play shortstop. I mean, so it's a little bit thin when you don't have costs, but they did mismanage him pretty badly and never played him at all. So that's on Vitello, and he admitted it.
If something happened to Adames, it might be a blessing in disguise.
Well, you're going to get costs back. We see activity. The lights came on in Dan's office. He's coming back to the chair. His headphones are in. He's putting his glasses on. He's looking at the screen. He's going to pop back in. There he is.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Johnny Cesare, shortstop out of Las Vegas. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm still unhappy, Dan. There's just no way I'm ever going to be happy unless this team somehow gets above 500 and stays there.
Well,
don't worry, Johnny. It's coming soon.
Johnny, let me look up a counseling center near you and see if we can get you some counseling for some happiness. I don't think you're going to be too happy this year.
Well, at least when Devers hits the ball, it's looking normal, Dan. Just when he swings and misses all the time, he strikes out 3 times. But at least he got 2. At least he made contact twice.
He got a couple of hits. He hit the ball hard both times, actually. They found holes.
He's up to 247.
Hey, if he can start hitting bombs, what's he have, 5 or 6?
Yeah, I want to say 5. Is it 5, Dallas, or is it 6?
How many does he have? Devers?
Definitely.
How many homers do you have?
I think 5.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to hit 247, he should have 10-plus homers.
5.
Yeah, the guy's – look, I mean, if this guy's a 275 career hitter.
I mean –
he should be hitting – if he's going to hit 247 and strike out 26, 28% of the time, man, dude, hit 10 to 12 bombs right now. That's the kind of power this dude should have.
I actually think he might have a really good 3-game series in Arizona where the ball's going to fly there and their pitching's not good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, yeah. They did put that humidor in there, which kind of
it may like course.
Yeah. Let's see.
Our space in the lefty tomorrow is not good.
Yeah, 18 RBIs in 45 days or 45 games. Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be not an easy game because they don't have their righties. Their best right-handed hitter obviously is Schmitt, and then you got Adames who's starting to heat up a little bit. Bader's had a few decent games, and then you've got the loss of Ramos could hurt you. Susak should be in there tomorrow. He's got a decent bat. So you got, and then you got Chapman, right? And then
Dan, I still can't believe he was in the 3-hole. I still want to know why Tony did that.
from what I understand, there was some. It was a little shady though, but there was some type of payoff that happened.
Oh, great.
No, I have no idea. You'll never get me to understand last night's game. Putting
Maybe
him
he
in
just wrote the name wrong down. He just got him mixed up.
Yeah, it could be.
I would accept that excuse more than
Yeah, could you
more than
imagine
I
if
thought
he
it would
said
be a
that?
good idea. I'd rather have it just be a complete screw up.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, Johnny, thanks for stepping in. Appreciate it.
And Dan, the Murakami guy hit 2 more home runs today.
What's he up to? 15 now?
17.
17. Gee whiz.
And we're going to have to deal with that. And dealing with this pitcher I've never heard of, who they picked in the 14th round, was 6-1.
Oh, Davis Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been good. Yeah, he's been good. Maybe he's kind of like our version of Trevor McDonald or Landon Roop.
Dan, Mally got to get out of the rotation when Webb gets back. Leave McDonald.
Well, they may trade Mally because he's on a 1-year deal. They may trade him.
Who's going to want him?
Some teams might. He's pitched some decent games. Bruce Bochy was really high on him. That's why they signed him. He pitched well for Texas last year. But
my
anyway,
take now is to piggyback him with Hauser. Have Hauser pitch 4, have Mally pitch 4.
Oh, there you go.
Bring in your closer.
Yeah, just go throw as much heat as you can.
The third time through the rotation,
I like that.
It blows up on them.
I like that. Go ahead and give those guys a crack at 4 innings apiece. Go out and throw the best stuff you got. Anyway, hey, Johnny, we're going to let you go because we're not going to stay too much longer. We're going to get out of here tonight. We've been going 57 minutes. So appreciate you stepping in, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yep, I'll be around.
All right. Thanks, Johnny.
See you, Johnny.
All right. Johnny Chisari. All right. Yep. My prediction's not going to come through. Chapman pacing under 80 RBIs again. I tried to be positive. I really did. I tried to be super positive this offseason. I probably led so many people astray, maybe cost some people some money on the betting the over. They took my 88 wins and got excited and said, oh, I'll take the 80.5 over. I'm sorry to all you people that I cost you some money because this team will be lucky to win 75 games this year. I think it's maybe not. Maybe they'll win 77 because I've got them pegged at 85 losses. I feel confident at the 85 losses. I don't know. And you can even push me over the edge if you said, would you take 90 losses? That's the way I'm seeing this team. I think they're going to do this Jekyll and Hyde stuff. They're going to play with you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you excited when they beat the Dodgers 2 games in a row, and they look like, man, it's all coming together. And then they'll give the next 3 up, just like they did this. They won 3.
Well, Casey Schmitt plays like he played tonight, then the Giants will be in okay shape.
Well, the problem is you only have one Casey Schmitt. This is the area that the Giants. Casey's such a trooper, man. He just plays anywhere they tell him. When I met with Casey not this offseason, but the previous offseason, or was it this off? When did we give all those baseballs away? Was it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to Casey, and he was just like, his biggest fear was like, I just don't want to go back to Sac. He goes, I don't care where I play. I just don't want to go back to Sacramento because, his first
he's not going 23, back now.
23 and 24, he was like, and last year he was on the bubble, whether he would stick or not. And remember last year he was playing first base early in the season.
Yeah. Well, it can go that way. Like you look at Tyler Fitzgerald, who was right there with Casey fighting for playing time. And that guy has taken the opposite course. And, he's back down in AAA, or is he in AAA now? But
I think he's with the Dodgers. Well. I think he's with the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Tyler Fitzgerald is a LA Dodger. You know what? You could see Tyler Fitzgerald up with the Dodgers at some point this year if he figures it out in AAA. Got a lot of talent. They're probably going to work with him on that swing, make sure he can start making more contact. But that would be weird. No, I do think that this is just hey, let me ask you this. This is a good question for you guys right now. If the All-Star game was today's Saturday and the All-Star game was next week and they had to pick All-Star and the Giants probably would only get one, who would be your All-Star? Between two people, that's it. It's got to be either Rise or Schmitt.
It's probably, well, you have to take into account the position too.
Position, right.
So it's got to be a Rise because
I would think
Schmitt is a DH.
I would think, but Casey, they can put him anywhere as an all-star. He could play second, he could play third, but I would think it would be a Rise simply because the National League. Who's the National League's best second baseman right now? Is it Nico Horner? Look over my shoulder. Ozzy Albies is having a really good year. I think it would be a Rise, but if Schmitt has a really good rest of the May and June, and let's say Casey's at, he's at 8 homers. What happens if Casey's at 15 plus homers and is hitting 290?
Brandon Lau has 12 home runs.
Oh, for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right? Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nico's cooled off a little bit, some guys are saying. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
But a Rise is leading for average.
He's hitting, but he doesn't have much OPS and he doesn't have much pop. He's got one homer. Yeah. He's not an RBI guy. Hasn't been. He's just, but his glove has been fantastic.
And 771 OPS. It's fifth.
Yeah, it's not horrible. 771's not bad. I mean, I would have no problem with the Rise being the only selection if that's what they did. If Giants got one selection.
I think they could find a place for Casey though if they someone they have to replace him, an injured player, with somebody else. It might be one of those manager selections.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get out of here. We can play Tony Victory tonight on the way out. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. And Giants win it tonight, 6-4. I thought, oh no, after the Rooker 3-run blast, did you get feelings like who's going to close this game after Killian gave up the 3-run bomb? It's like, who they got left to close?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but I mean, he's pitching Gage a lot.
Yeah, Gage is going to probably blow a gasket in July. After July, if they keep this up, he's the new Tyler Rogers of the team.
Yeah, I think that Malley piggybacking thing could help the bullpen. The bullpen has a day off that day, basically, and then they can recharge the batteries.
It's kind of like 6 starters. It's a 5-man rotation, but you're using 2 of your. Yeah, because McDonald. Yeah. There's no reason McDonald should go down.
He cannot.
You just can't.
It would be. Yeah. I mean, it would be insane to do that.
Yeah.
It would be like worse than playing Chapman in the 3-hole.
Look at this Dodger fan. Muncy, the best second baseman. If you're a Dodger fan, you probably must be a casual because Muncy plays third base for the Dodgers. Oh, my gosh. Well, Giants get it done. Hey, guys, hit that like button on the way out, if you would, please. That would be awesome.
How many likes do we got?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
We have 57.
57.
Let's go to 75. I'll go one. I'm 58.
58. Who's going to be number 75? Who's going to be Barry Zito tonight? Who's going to be our
everybody
Barry
don't
Zito?
sit around and wait to be the 75th one because then it doesn't go up if everyone just waits.
Yeah, who's going to be number 60? Who's going to be Otis Sistrunk from the Oakland Raiders, from the University of Mars? Otis Sistrunk. People are going, who is Otis Sistrunk? Does anybody in the chat know who Otis Sistrunk? I want to hear. Come on.
Name.
Otis Sistrunk, number 60 from the University of Mars. Does anybody know Otis? Come on. I got to have some old timers in here. Where's my old timers? I got too many people who are going, Otis Sistrunk, when was that?
How old do you think Otis is now, Dan?
If he's living, I'm going to guess Otis. Huh?
He's alive.
He's alive?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Otis Sistrunk is 81?
79. Very close. We'll give you the victory there.
Nice. Otis Sistrunk. Otis Nixon, Atlanta Brave. Guy's got the funniest. Otis Nixon looked like a raisin in his face. Father of man. Should we just eject this guy? Should we just throw him out of our chat completely for being?
He's got to be just joking.
Is he joking?
Father of man is good.
Okay, Father of man's good. Okay, we don't take the trolls lightly. Okay.
He's got a 25 at the end of his name. That must be for Barry Bonds.
Or he's 25 years old, or his IQ's 25. I'm not sure. We're out of here, guys. See you tomorrow afternoon. Giants go for the series win. Take care, everybody.